All right, listen up, you miserable pile of excuses. Welcome to another session of Books I Will Never Read Again. I'm your host, Uncle Bob, and I am here to do the heavy lifting for you because, let's be honest, you're not going to do it. You're going to buy the book, you'll put it on your nightstand to signal to your guests that you have depth, and then what? You'll use it as a coaster for your sugary sodas. So I read the flimsy, feel-good, woo-woo garbage that the internet swears will fix your life. I do it so I can tell you exactly why it belongs in the recycling bin. Or, better yet, the incinerator. Today, we are doing a deep dive into a book that has been clogging up the bestseller list like a hairball in a shower drain. It's called The Mountain Is You, Transforming Self-Sabotage into Self-Mastery by Brianna Wiest. And let me tell you, right off the bat, I hate the title. I hate it with a burning passion, usually reserved for people who talk on speakerphone in public restrooms.
It's a metaphor, though, and a fairly standard one in this space, really.
It's not just a metaphor. It's pretentious, is what it is. The mountain is you. Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought the mountain was a large geological formation made of rock and tectonic pressure. But no. Apparently I am the mountain. It is the most passive-aggressive, artsy-fartsy way possible to say, hey, stop hitting yourself, you moron. I looked at this cover. You've seen it, right? It's got this little gold mountain on a stark black background looking all serious and profound. And I just knew. I knew deep in my gut, which we'll get to later, that this was going to be filled with just soft-handed participation trophy philosophy for people who cry when their oat milk latte is lukewarm.
While I appreciate your consistently enthusiastic skepticism, we should probably set the stage for why this book is actually relevant. I mean, Brianna Wiest isn't just some random blogger. She's become something of a phenomenon in the modern self-help space.
A phenomenon, right.
Her work went viral largely because she packages complex psychological concepts into very digestible, almost poetic prose. The book isn't just a collection of aphorisms. It is a structured argument about why we get stuck. The premise isn't just that you are the problem, which is your takeaway, but that you are also the solution. It's a manual for understanding why we hold ourselves back from the things we claim to want.
Oh, save it, you goofball. Why we hold ourselves back? I can answer that in one sentence without writing a 200-page book. We hold ourselves back because we're lazy, we're scared, and we like eating donuts more than we like doing burpees. It's not rocket science, it's biology. We are simple creatures who want to sit on the couch. But fine, go ahead. Unpack this masterpiece for me. Why do we need a whole book to tell us to stop being our own worst enemies? What is the secret wisdom here that I'm missing?
Because it's not as simple as just being lazy. That's a surface-level assessment. That's the judgment, not the diagnosis.
Okay, Dr. Phil, give me the diagnosis.
Riesters argues that self-sabotage is actually a biological and psychological response that serves a purpose. She refines self-sabotage not as a lack of willpower or, self-hatred, but as the presence of an unconscious need being fulfilled.
An unconscious need.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a conflict between your conscious desires, like wanting to write a book, get fit, or find a partner, and your unconscious needs, which usually revolve around safety and familiarity.
Okay, let me translate that for the knuckle-draggers in the back who are currently picking their noses in traffic. You're saying that when I ruin my own life, when I procrastinate until 3 in the morning, or when I text my toxic ex, I'm actually helping myself. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Oh, sorry, I drank all the rent money, honey. I was just fulfilling an unconscious need for safety. Get out of here with that nonsense.
You're intentionally oversimplifying it to make it sound ridiculous, but let's look at the mechanism she describes. The brain is designed for survival, not happiness.
I've heard this one before.
Right. And survival relies on homeostasis, on keeping things predictable and stable. When you try to change your life, even for the better, you are introducing the unknown. And the unknown is, evolutionarily speaking, dangerous. So self-sabotage is your subconscious mind pulling the emergency brake to bring you back to what is familiar. She calls it a maladaptive coping mechanism. It's your brain trying to protect you from the danger of success or change.
Maladaptive coping mechanism? That's a fancy way of saying being a dumbass on purpose. Look, I understand the concept of homeostasis. I do. But we aren't cavemen running from saber-toothed tigers anymore. We are people running from emails. If your brain thinks getting a promotion is the same as getting eaten by a lion, your brain is broken. You don't need a book, you need a transplant.
Well, the book actually uses a very specific historical example to illustrate this point early on. She tells the story of Carl Jung.
Oh, great. Here we go. The famous smart guy, the collective unconscious guy. Let's hear about Jung. I bet he was a real tough guy.
It's a story from his childhood. Wiest recounts how, when Jung was a boy, he was standing in the schoolyard, and another student pushed him. He fell and hit his head against a stone.
Okay.
He was slightly dazed, but his immediate, almost instinctive thought was, maybe I won't have to go back to school now. You see, he hated school. He felt alienated, bullied, and totally disconnected from his peers.
So he got bonked on the noggin and wanted a day off. That sounds like every kid in history. What's the big deal?
It went further than that. Shortly after this incident, he started developing these uncontrollable fainting spells. Every time he had to go to class or do his homework or even just walk towards the school, he would collapse. He would have these fits.
Fits, like fainting fits.
Exactly. His parents were terrified. They took him to doctors. They thought he had epilepsy. He ended up staying home for 6 months, completely free to just explore nature and read all the books in his father's library, which is what he actually wanted to do.
Wait. You're telling me the father of analytical psychology, one of the greatest minds of the 20th century, was just a wuss who fainted to get out of math class. That is the ultimate bicycle seat sniffer move. That is pathetic. Oh, I have the vapors. I can't possibly learn algebra, mother. Catch me, I'm falling.
But he wasn't faking it consciously, though. That's the critical distinction Reese is making. He wasn't twirling a mustache and planning a deception. His brain had created a neurosis. He unconsciously associated fainting with the immense relief of escaping a place where he felt miserable.
It was a trick. His brain tricked him.
It was a coping mechanism.
Yeah.
It solved his immediate problem, avoiding the misery of school, but it created a much bigger problem, which was that he was becoming an uneducated invalid. And then one day, he overheard his father worriedly telling a friend that he was afraid Carl might never be able to work or support himself. That shock snapped him out of it. He realized the safety of his sabotage was actually a trap.
It's called playing hooky, and he was just dramatic about it. But this is exactly what I'm talking about. This book takes being a coward and dresses it up in a tuxedo. It calls it a neurosis. No, you're just avoiding the work. But please, tell me more about this mountain. I'm dying to hear how poetic she gets about my bank overdraft fees, because if young is the mountain, then I must be a molehill.
The mountain represents the block between you and the life you want. Wistus writes that just as a mountain in nature is formed when two tectonic plates clash and push the earth upward,
Boy.
your internal mountain is formed by coexisting but conflicting needs. You have two plates in your mind. One plate says, I want to be a successful artist. The other plate says, I want to be liked by my family who thinks art is a waste of time. Those two needs crash together. Boom. You have a mountain. The mountain isn't just an obstacle. It's evidence of a conflict deep inside you.
Tectonic plates, conflicting needs. It's all very flowery, isn't it? I was reading through this, and she's talking about forest fires needed to open seeds and stars imploding into supernovas to create carbon. Listen, if I wanted to hear about stars imploding, I'd watch a documentary on space narrated by someone with a soothing British accent. I'm reading a self-help book because I'm a mess. Stop telling me to look at the stars and tell me to look at my credit score, you dingbat. It's distracting.
The imagery is designed to help you reframe the struggle. She argues that the objective of being human is to grow. That we are like nature, we need to expand. If we stop growing, we start dying, in a way. The mountain is actually a gift because it forces us to develop the skills to climb it.
The objective of being human is to grow. Hippie nonsense. The objective of being human is to pay taxes, try not to get fired, and hopefully die in your sleep before your enemies do. But fine, let's assume the listeners, you poor sweet numbskulls, actually want to grow. How do we identify this sabotage? Because I bet everyone listening thinks, I don't self-sabotage, Uncle Bob. I'm just unlucky. The world is against me.
And that's the denial she anticipates. So she breaks down the menu of sabotage, if you will, the different ways this conflict manifests in daily behavior.
A menu. I'm hungry.
One of the most interesting concepts she brings up, which she attributes to Gay Hendricks, is the upper limit problem.
The upper limit sounds like a credit card rejection. Or what happens when I try to run for more than 30 seconds?
It's actually about our tolerance for happiness. Think of it like a thermostat in your house. You have a baseline temperature of how good you allow yourself to feel. Let's say your baseline is mildly anxious and annoyed.
That hits close to home.
So if things get too good, maybe you get a sudden windfall of money, or you fall in love, or you have a perfect week at work, the temperature rises. You are suddenly too happy. It feels unfamiliar.
And unfamiliar means unsafe to the lizard brain. I'm following.
Exactly. So your subconscious kicks in to bring the temperature back down to the setting it knows.
Yeah.
You hit your upper limit.
Yeah.
You sabotage the happiness to get back to your baseline of misery. Because misery is familiar. Misery feels safe. You might pick a fight with your partner for no reason, or forget a deadline, or suddenly get sick.
You cheese blockheads. You are actually scared of being happy. That is hilarious. I'm picturing one of you winning the lottery, holding the giant cardboard check, confetti falling everywhere, and then you just panic. You start sweating and thinking, oh no, this is too much joy. I miss eating ramen noodles in the dark and worrying about the electric bill. So you light the check on fire just to feel safe again. You people are broken.
It's rarely that dramatic, but it is that pervasive. It's the person who gets a promotion and then immediately gets a massive case of imposter syndrome and stops speaking up in meetings
Yeah.
until they get demoted.
Right, it's subtle.
It's the brain regulating the temperature of your life.
It's stupidity. But okay, what else is on this menu of moronic behavior? I want to know exactly how else these people are punching themselves in the face.
Perfectionism. This is a massive one, especially for creative types or, high achievers.
Oh, I hate perfectionists. I really do.
Wiest argues that perfectionism isn't about having high standards. It isn't about the love of quality. It is actually a fear of failure and a fear of vulnerability masquerading as high standards. It's a defense mechanism that stops you from even starting.
Exactly. I can't show you my painting yet. It's not ready. I can't launch the podcast yet. I need a better microphone. Yeah, keep telling yourself that. You know why it's not ready. Because you have no talent. You nitwit. Just show it. You're not Michelangelo. You're a guy named Steve with a canvas you bought at a discount store.
That is harsh, but Wiest would agree with the underlying mechanic. She says perfectionism is just procrastination in a fancy tuxedo.
I like that. I'm stealing that.
If you never finish the project, because it's not perfect yet, you never have to face the judgment of the world. You never have to find out if you're actually good or bad. You stay safe in the realm of potential. As long as you don't finish, you could be a genius. Once you finish, you might just be mediocre. Her advice is blunt. Don't worry about making a Grammy-winning hit. Just make music.
Groundbreaking. Just do it. Why didn't I think of that? I'm going to scream at all the punk-ass nerds listening right now. You aren't avoiding your novel because you're a genius with standards too high for this mortal coil. You're avoiding it because you suspect deep down that you write like a toddler with a crayon. And you know what? You probably do, but do it anyway. Write the trash. Be the trash.
Moving on from that. Uplifting message. Another form of sabotage she identifies is uprooting. This is the habit of constantly moving, changing jobs, or swapping relationships to avoid facing real issues.
Ah, the wanderlust crowd. I know these people. They put, "Not all those who wander are lost," on their Instagram bio. Yes, you are lost. You're lost and you're annoying. You think moving to a new city is a personality trait. It's not.
She calls it being comfortable with sprouting, but not blossoming.
Yeah.
You plant a seed, start a job, start a relationship, and as soon as it sprouts and things get real, as soon as the initial excitement fades and the real work begins, you rip it up and move to a new plot of soil.
Thinking a new city will fix your internal dissatisfaction.
Exactly. You think an external change will solve an internal problem.
It's the geographical cure. And it never works. You can move to Paris, you can move to Bali, but you're still bringing your rotten personality with you. You're just going to be a crusty bozo eating a croissant instead of a crusty bozo eating a bagel. The common denominator in all your failed lives is you. Stop running from your shadow, you cowards.
Precisely. And the last big symptom we should probably touch on is disorganization, living in a mess.
Oh, don't get me started on the slobs. I can smell them through the headphones.
Riesters argues that a messy environment isn't just about being lazy. It creates external chaos to distract you from internal work. If your room is a disaster, your brain has a valid excuse to be scattered. If you're constantly looking for your keys or stepping over laundry, you don't have the mental space to focus on your mountain. It's a self-created obstacle course.
Exactly. Clean your room, you piss clowns. You live in filth because you're afraid of success. You're using a pile of dirty underwear as a shield against greatness. Oh, I'd love to start my business, but I have to spend 3 hours finding a matching sock. Pathetic. Just pathetic. You are literally wallowing in your own failure.
So I think we've covered the symptoms pretty well. But the book goes deeper into why we do this, beyond just the general idea of safety. She introduces the concept of core commitments. This is a critical part of the analysis.
Unpack it. Sounds like corporate jargon from a bad HR meeting.
A core commitment is a fundamental desire that drives your behavior, often subconsciously. This is the hidden agenda we talked about. For example, you might consciously say, I want a steady, high-paying corporate job. You tell your friends that, you apply for those jobs. But your core commitment, the thing your soul is actually clinging to, might be freedom or autonomy.
Right. So you get the job, and then you show up late, you mouth off to the boss, you don't do the reports, you sabotage it.
Exactly. Because keeping that job would violate your deeper commitment to being free. You are protecting your core commitment by destroying your conscious goal. We suggest we need to interview ourselves to find these hidden commitments. You have to ask yourself deeply uncomfortable questions like, what am I actually getting out of this self-sabotage? What is the payoff? Because there's always a payoff.
Interview yourself. Can you imagine how that goes for the average listener? Hello, Bob. Why are you eating that second pizza? Well, Bob, I'm committed to arterial blockage and self-loathing. Excellent. Carry on. You're just going to lie to yourself during the interview, too. I value freedom. No, you value being a lazy sloth who doesn't want to wear pants. That's your core commitment. To be pantsless.
That might be true for some, but realizing that is the first step to changing it. If you value comfort over growth, you will sabotage anything that requires effort. You have to decide if you want to keep that commitment. She also talks about emotional intelligence, specifically how we interpret negative emotions. This is where most people get it wrong.
Go on. This should be good.
She says we tend to view negative emotions as things to be suppressed or ignored, but she argues they are data. They are information, for instance, anger. We think anger is bad, destructive. But Wisda says anger shows us our boundaries. It shows us what we find unjust. It is a signal that says, stop. This is not okay.
Oh, I love this. Honor your anger. I'm going to go honor my anger by screaming at the barista who put too much foam in my cappuccino. My boundaries are being violated by this foam, Brenda. Justice must be served.
That's aggression. That's not honoring anger. Honoring it means recognizing that a boundary was crossed and then doing something constructive about it, like asserting yourself or removing yourself from the situation. Then there's jealousy. This is a big one.
Yeah.
Waya says jealousy isn't just hatred of someone else, it's a map to what you want.
The map.
Yes. You are only jealous of people who have something you desire but aren't allowing yourself to have. You don't get jealous of an astronaut if you have zero interest in space. But if you want to be wealthy, you get jealous of the rich guy. The jealousy is telling you what you really want.
Hear me out. I'm jealous because that guy has a boat and I don't, and he looks like a numbskull who doesn't deserve a boat. It's not a map to my desires. It's a map to the fact that the world is unfair and that guy is a bicycle seat sniffer who inherited his dad's dealership.
But why do you want the boat? What does the boat represent to you?
To get away from people, to be alone in the middle of the ocean where I don't have to talk to anyone.
See, a desire for solitude and autonomy. The boat is just the symbol. The jealousy is pointing you toward a need for peace.
Buzz off with your logic. She also has this bit about gut instinct versus fear. Everyone always asks about this. Is it my intuition or am I just chicken?
It is a very common question.
Yeah.
How do you tell the difference between a genuine warning sign and just plain old fear of the unknown? Weiss gives a very specific heuristic, she says. Fear screams, but instinct whispers.
Instinct whispers. That sounds like a perfume commercial from the 90s.
What she means is that fear is frantic, urgent, and usually physically loud. You feel it in your body. Racing heart, sweat, racing thoughts. It says, don't do it, you'll die, everyone will laugh. It is a panic response. Instinct or intuition, she argues, is calm, it is quiet, it doesn't panic, it just knows. It says simply, this isn't right for you, or you should go this way.
My gut usually just grumbles and tells me I shouldn't have eaten those gas station nachos. You listeners think your anxiety spirals are psychic premonitions. You sit there shaking, thinking, I have a bad feeling about this party, and you think you're Nostradamus predicting a disaster. You're not an oracle, you're just a neurotic doofus. Your gut isn't whispering wisdom, it's screaming for Pepto-Bismol.
The point is to distinguish between irrational panic, which is the sabotage, the upper limit kicking in, and a genuine sense of misalignment. If you are panicking, it's probably just a fear. If you are calm but hesitant, it might be your instinct. But let's move to the solution. We've diagnosed the patient. We know we are broken, frightened perfectionists with messy rooms. How do we fix this? How do we climb the mountain?
Let me guess. Magic crystals. Chant to the moon. Do we need to buy a specific type of expensive journal with a gold-leafed cover?
No. Actually, she advises against the grand gesture. She focuses on the concept of microshifts.
Microshifts. Sounds like a compact car or a very small tectonic movement.
She argues that we sabotage ourselves because we try to change everything at once. We say, starting Monday, I will work out for 2 hours, eat only kale, write 5 chapters, and call my mother. That is way too much change. The brain views it as a threat and shuts it down. Real change happens in microshifts, tiny, almost imperceptible daily adjustments.
So lowering the bar drastically.
In a way. It's about rewiring the brain without triggering the fear response. If you want to get healthy, don't overhaul your whole life today. Just drink 1 extra glass of water. That's it. Do that for a week. Then add a 5-minute walk. It builds new neural pathways slowly, safely.
You know, I hate to admit it, but I almost agree with this. I mean, I hate the word microshift. It sounds like something a tech bro in a fleece vest would say while trying to sell me an app. But the logic holds up. It's baby steps, you dingbats. Baby steps for babies.
Oh.
You're sitting there waiting for a burning bush to tell you to get your life together. It's not coming. Just drink the water. Eat an apple. It's not a microshift. It's called not being a dehydrated dingbat.
It's about building momentum, consistency over intensity. She also discusses the concept of the anti-fragile mind. This is a term she borrows from Nassim Nicholas Taleb.
Oh, the black swan guy. Very intellectual for a book with a gold mountain on the cover.
It fits perfectly, though.
Yeah.
The concept is that there are 3 types of things in the world. There are fragile things, which break under pressure, like a glass vase. There are resilient things, which withstand pressure, like a rock. And then there are anti-fragile things, which actually get stronger under pressure.
Like the immune system. Or my hatred for humanity, it grows stronger every day.
Exactly. Or a candle flame in the wind versus a forest fire. Wind blows out a candle, but it fuels a fire. Weindis argues our minds are anti-fragile. If you avoid all stress, all triggers, and all problems, your brain effectively atrophies. It needs challenge to grow. She writes, if you deny and reject any kind of real challenge in your life, your brain will compensate by creating a problem to overcome.
Oh, I love this. This is where I get to call the listener weak again. This explains so much. This is why you people in the suburbs with your perfect lawns and your gated communities are so miserable. You have no real problems. You aren't hunting for food. You aren't fighting off invaders. So your anti-fragile brain gets bored and invents problems. Oh no, the homeowners association didn't approve my mailbox color. This is a tragedy. Who cares? Go fight a bear.
Please do not go fight a bear.
Metaphorically, your brain is mush because you've wrapped yourself in bubble wrap. You need to go out there and get punched in the face by life a little bit. It builds character. Stop trying to make your life safe and start making it interesting.
Moving on to the emotional side of healing, she talks about releasing the past. This is the part where she addresses the people who are stuck ruminating on old relationships or old failures.
The people who still talk about high school football, we know them, they peaked.
She says that you can't force yourself to let go. You can't simply loosen your grip. It's not a muscular action. Instead, you have to build a new life that makes the old one irrelevant. She calls it the glow-up, but specifies it's an internal glow-up, not an Instagram one.
Oh, God, the glow-up. I see these desperate goofballs posting their revenge bodies online. Look at me, I lost 10 pounds and got a spray tan. Bet you're sorry now, Kevin. Kevin doesn't care. Kevin is playing Xbox and eating Cheetos. Weist says the real glow-up isn't proving people wrong. And she's right. If you're posting thirst traps for your ex, you haven't let go. You're just a desperate clown performing for an audience of one who blocked you 3 months ago.
It's about indifference. The moment you truly let go is the moment you no longer care if they see you or not, because you are too busy building your new reality. Which brings us to the final major concept, the future self.
The time travel segment. Great. Is this where we need a DeLorean?
It's a visualization exercise, but a powerful one, she argues. She suggests you close your eyes and meet your highest potential future self. Imagine the person you could be if you stopped sabotaging yourself. See where they live, how they carry themselves, what they're wearing.
Okay, everyone close your eyes. Unless you're driving. If you're driving, keep them open, you maniacs. I'm doing it right now. I'm visualizing my future self. Uncle Bob, 5 years from now. Let's see. Oh, look at him. He's exactly the same. He's still yelling into a microphone. He's still annoyed by everything, but maybe he has a slightly nicer ergonomic chair. He's handing me the keys. Oh, wait, no, he's flicking me off. That seems...
Yeah, you're not taking this seriously, as usual. But the exercise is meant to give you a guide, a North Star. You ask this future self for advice. What do I need to do right now to become you? And imagine them handing you the keys to your new life.
Because it's silly. Did your future self give you a magic wand, you silly goose? If you're a mess now and you don't do the work, the real work, the microshifts, not the closing your eyes and dreaming work, your future self is just going to be you, but older, wrinklier, and with more back pain. You don't become a superhero just because you imagined it.
The visualization is to help you see the gap, to see the difference between your current habits and the habits required to be that person. And realizing that gap leads to her final and honestly most sobering point. She writes, your new life is going to cost you your old one.
Oh, that sounds ominous. I like it. It sounds like a line from a mob movie. It's going to cost you.
It means that to change, you have to grieve the person you were, You have to lose the comfort of your old habits, your old friends who enable your bad behavior, your old identity as a victim.
Mhm.
You cannot bring your old self into your new life. It is a death and a rebirth. It is a heavy price to pay for many people.
It sounds like a threat. Your new life is going to cost you. Good. Your old life is trash. Look at it. You're listening to a podcast hosted by a guy named Uncle Bob because you have nothing better to do. Trade it in. It's a clunker. Drive that old life into the scrapyard and crush it into a cube. Why are you holding on to it? Oh, I don't want to lose my identity as a sad guy who never tries. Yes, you do. That identity sucks.
So we've climbed the mountain, we've unpacked the self-sabotage, the symptoms like the upper limit and perfectionism, the cures like microshifts and anti-fragility. What is your final verdict on the mountain? Will you, in fact, never read it again?
Look, I'm going to be honest. It's too many flowers, not enough hammers. I don't want to hear about star implosions and forest fires and seeds sprouting. I want to hear stop eating the donut fatties, stop texting your ex dummy. But underneath all the woo glitter and the poetry slam language, the advice is technically correct. You are the problem. You are the mountain, and nobody's coming to save you. You have to get off your butt and climb the thing.
That's surprisingly profound coming from you.
Don't get used to it. The book is annoying, but if you can stomach the live, laugh, love font it's written in, you might actually learn something. Just don't expect me to read it again. I'd rather read the ingredients on a shampoo bottle. At least the shampoo bottle doesn't ask me to visualize my inner child.
Fair enough. It is a useful tool for those willing to do the introspection she describes.
All right, that's it. Go climb your mountain or jump off it. I really don't care. Just stop whining about it. I'm Uncle Bob. This was Books I Will Never Read Again. Now buzz off, you bicycle seat sniffles.
Goodbye, everyone.
And stop fainting in math class. We know you're faking it.